BBC tells a tale of uncertainty among staff of Ghana's biggest indigenous cocoa buying company, PBC, as it continues to post huge revenue losses. According to its audited report cited for 2020, the company lost 1.9 billion cedis within a period of 4 years. In our latest Hotline documentary, PBC Troubles, JoyNews investigative desk explores what might be accounting for the steep decline in PBC's market share from 30.88% in 2016 to 8% in 2021.
In August 2022, a circular copied all staff indicated that payment of salaries would delay due to the current financial challenges facing the company. When we spoke to the staff who pleaded anonymity in November 2022, he told JoyNews their salaries delayed for 3 months last year. It was not only difficult for many to fend for themselves, but their families as well.
Staff salary, they were owing us 3 months, but currently they've paid the 3 months. But as we speak, we don't know when our next salary payment is coming, and we have no idea.
He said it was now difficult for staff to access welfare loans from the company, which wasn't the norm in recent past.
Okay, the welfare fund is a revolving fund. So they wrote to us that there are no funds available. So nobody should apply for welfare loan. But with regards to the tier 3, we have paid it is our money, and we have contributed, and it is 10 years now, and the agreement was that when it is 10 years they have to pay all the monies to us, but it is 10 years now and they are refusing to release the funds to us, which is making all the staffs, every staff is agitating. Every staff is agitating about this tier 3.
So dire is the financial situation that PBC suspended the intake of national service personnel for the 2022-2023 year. In a circular cited by JoyNews, the Human Resource Manager, William Aisha, cited the current financial challenges of the company as the reason. In January 2022, PBC wrote to the Ministry of Employment about its intention to restructure the company, including downsizing its staff. It cited the prevailing financial and operational downturn, making it difficult to pay staff and meet its obligations to stakeholders. It said the staff who will be affected by the downsizing are those without establishment. Our sources suggest that when CocoaBot secured the cocoa syndicated loan last year, it loaned PBC with an estimated 350 million Ghana cedis. Management used 50 million cedis to cover staff remuneration and other administrative expenses. The national projection PBC set for itself for the 2022-2023 main crop season was to purchase 170,000 tons of cocoa. But with the limited funds in PBC's account, this target remains a pipe dream and leaves staff in another boat of uncertainty on what fate hangs on the survival of PBC and possible payment of their remuneration.
About 4 years in me, baby, shares no market share no former echo, a former echo. Because woman you woman humans, woman in one human. Appointees, government appointees, ne do woman. It will go wow, back who call the human crowd, we knew more in 1 year than ever transfer 1 year human. The market share no deal, company deal, but woman to me and no creno and pieces in a no more. Man, I young some yanny and a farmers in a tier grass. And you who farmers in this situation can draw baby and yanny a war. Company investor ma see and farm more farmers. Yanya to be copello, near who's our children. That is see a war farmers in a cacra. I want to so better cocoa no October, no much ya. A big year to me cover 1 year. Not farmers a day. A cratch of foreign cap. As to company, new motion, one physical crab. As you can't go crab, one when you be ma, a better than when you be the abobosia. Enti ye no wodra ye wo ma company no yetimi wi se nya no bi na mpanimfo no e wo ma company no osoro ho no omo de omo da se omo sika na omo di na ne
Leaking roofs, inadequate beds and furniture for staff and patients to sit for consultation, coupled with lack of transport, are key challenges facing the Ponyetanga Health Center. A 20-bed ward, which was started 3 years ago to ease congestion at the facility, has also been abandoned and has now turned into toilet for the people. The health center, established 27 years ago, has since not seen an inch of renovation. This came to light at the first day held by the health center at Ponyetanga, and they are calling for support. JoyNews' Upper West Region correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
The Ponyetanga Health Center was established in 1996 by the government of Ghana through support from the Danish Development Agency, DANIDA. At the time of its establishment, it was the only health facility attending to the health needs of residents in Ponyetanga, Ga, Nyole, Taningna, and all communities surrounding it, and all located in the eastern corridor of the district, which was then under the district. The health center is now 27 years old and has now been elevated to the status of a sub-district with 7 functional chiefs compound under it. It has a population of 8,813 people with 1 physician assistant, 36 nurses, 1 auxiliary staff, and 3 casual workers. The cruel reality, however, is that since the establishment of the health center, it has not seen an inch of renovation, thereby serving as a disincentive for both the clients and the staff. The workers, however, are undeterred in their pursuit of getting quality health care for the people. Emmanuel Potina is a physician assistant and in charge of the Ponyetanga Health Center.
Ponyetanga Health Center was selected as a model facility in the district, which is a plus to us. Also, at our end of year review for 2022, Ponyetanga Health Center was awarded the 3rd position with a citation, tabletop fridge, and some stationaries due to our quality of care and best performances.
The debate was held on the theme, community engagement and participation, the key to improve health status of the people. It brought together all key stakeholders in the sub-district, including minority full and settler groups, to deliberate on key issues affecting the delivery of quality health service at the Ponyetanga Health Center.
We have been able to form the Fulani community into the health sector integration. We have a Fulani rep in the sub-district health management committee. We have formed Fulani volunteers. We have them on board. We have formed Fulani mother-to-mother support group, and we have opened a Fulani mother-to-mother support group account for them, which is one of the first of its kind in the region, if not of the country.
Emmanuel Potina, however, laid bare some challenges they are facing despite the successes struck.
The facility, as you see, if you take a look at it, the ceiling, the zincs and the ceilings are leaking. And now we are going to the rainy season. Only God will see us through. The facility, if you look around, you can see a vehicle that is packed under the mercy of the sun. Whilst we are having challenges with transportation, how to move our clients, especially when we have a pregnant woman to transport to the regional hospital, is always a challenge. And it's packed under the mercy of the sun. The nature of our beds for our patients, both pregnant women and the general patients, is not in good condition, and it is an chairs to sit whilst we are taking care of our patients is a challenge. Even the patients don't have sitting places, and the few ones that we have, they are in bad state.
The assembly member for Ponyetanga electoral area, Amadou Kuri Hamid, is however deeply worried about the construction of a 20-bed ward to ease the congestion at the health center, but whose construction has stalled. He appeals for help for its completion.
But it's almost 3 years today and nothing has been done. if you enter inside of it, part of it is collapsing. And I don't know. So as we speak, some of the patients are using it as a toilet room, and others are using it as what? A urinary pit. And it is also a hideout for thieves and criminals. So I'm therefore appealing to the public or any benevolent authority that can help complete this place for us.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Poyentanga.
A creditor committee set up by Ghana's external lenders, a Paris Club, is expected to hold talks this week on the country's request for debt restructuring. China is expected to attend the meeting, which will reach an agreement on how to restructure about $22 billion out of $30 billion owed. There's more in the following News Desk report.
Ghana owes big, 576 billion cedis. Its external debt stands at almost $31 billion, and the country aims to restructure about $22 billion. That's to say, Ghana wants to delay payment of most of these debts and possibly secure haircuts on interests. But the creditors, the so-called Paris Club, must agree to this. At the World Bank IMF spring meetings in Washington, D.C., Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta said there was reason for optimism.
On the roadmap to an IMF board approval and beyond, in relation to the fund program, on the government side, we have made significant progress and have completed all prior actions agreed to move the fund. Additionally, the Paris Club has met and continues to meet to discuss the delivery of financing assurances. Based on our engagements, we expect these financing assurances to come in the next couple of weeks, thereby enabling Ghana's program to be presented to the IMF board for approval soon after that. Today's webcast was to engage our investors for their support for Ghana's program supported by the fund. We've also met with our development partners on the need to safeguard growth and private investments into Ghana.
China, which initially raised issues and sought clarity, is also said to be on board.
As you know, we visited on March 22nd, we had excellent meetings with the finance minister, in which he was very clear that these were short-term problems that Ghana was seeing. He was very confident about our future in the medium and long term, and committed that they would work on our case to be able to give the appropriate assurances.
The Paris Club set up what it called a partial creditor committee to discuss Ghana's indebtedness and the requests for debt restructuring. This week, the committee is expected to deliberate on many issues, including assurances to be given to the board of the IMF, but no one knows what the outcome of such a meeting will be. Is the reason Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is urging caution.
I think one has to be, really cautious about that. Obviously, you have heard Kristalina, Managing Director of the fund, talking with a lot of sort of a positive air.
3 key hurdles must be scaled to secure a $3 billion loan, a domestic debt exchange program, done, an external debt restructuring, pending, and then an IMF board approval, also pending. 1 out of 2 so far. For now, only further talks will continue in the quest for an economic salvation.
Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah is hopeful the Paris Club will provide the necessary assurance to the IMF to enable the fund take a decision on Ghana soon.
Those outside the Paris Club, China, India, Saudi, have also given us very positive sentiments, and I've also given those very positive sentiments to the fund. Okay. It is all of that we expect to come together in the coming set of weeks so that those financing assurances can be issued by the external sovereign creditors And the fund, having received those assurances, can then proceed to the board.
The finance minister says pension funds will not be added to the domestic debt exchange program. Speaking at the final wrap-up press conference held by the finance minister, Dr. Fariata, Mr. Fariata touched on the commitment from U.S. companies to invest in Ghana.
And what we know and that we are doing is that there were some outstanding instruments to work on. And that really was the cocoa base from Cocoa Board and also the government of Ghana US denominated local bonds and the IPP debts. Those are just, I would say, continuing work that has been going on since the DEP was closed. And those will continue until we get to an accommodation that makes sense for both parties. I think there was also discussions about the pension funds which we were excluded. We did indicate the last time about the MOU that we had signed with them, and we should be clear that in the MOU we agreed to pursue mutually beneficial options within the debt sustainability limits, as we continue them. So those discussions continue to be going on, and we are engaging them. So I'm not sure what the interpretation of that to mean in the second round of DDEP.
Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah is hopeful the Paris Club will provide the necessary assurance to the IMF to enable the fund take a decision on Ghana soon.
Those outside the Paris Club, China, India, Saudi, have also given us very positive sentiments. And I've also given those very positive sentiments to the fund. Okay. It is all of that we expect to come together in the coming set of weeks so that those financing assurances can be issued by the external sovereign creditors, and the fund, having received those assurances, can then proceed to the board.
The finance minister says pension funds will not be added to the domestic debt exchange program. Speaking at the final wrap-up press conference held by the finance minister, Dr. Fariata, Mr. Fariata touched on the commitment from U.S. companies to invest in Ghana.
And what we know and that we are doing is that there were some outstanding instruments to work on, and that really was the cocoa base from Cocoa Board and also the government of Ghana US denominated local bonds and the IPP debts. Those are just, I would say, continuing work that has been going on since the DEP was closed. And those will continue until we get to an accommodation that makes sense for both parties. I think there was also discussions about the pension funds which we were excluded. We did indicate the last time about the MOU that we had signed with them, and we should be clear that in the MOU we agreed to pursue mutually beneficial options within the debt sustainability limits, as we continue them. So those discussions continue to be going on, and we are engaging them. So I'm not sure what the interpretation of that to mean in the second round of DDEP.
Last week, government requested for the participation of pension funds in an alternative proposal offer, which it says is aimed at alleviating the cash constraint on government in the coming years while fully compensating the pension funds for the value of their current holding. My colleague Joseph Akable has details of the letter from the Finance Ministry to the pension funds last week. He joins us with detail. Akable, share with us details of this letter from the Finance Ministry.
So this letter is dated the 7th of April 2023 and is titled A Request for Participation in the New Government of Ghana Proposed Alternative Offer for Pension Funds, and is addressed to the Board of Trustees for Pension Funds and is signed by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. A number of institutions are copied, including the National Security as well. But in terms of the specific of this particular offer, in terms of what it entails, it indicates that they are being asked to exchange current holdings of Treasury bonds, ESLA bonds, and Dachi bonds for a menu of currently outstanding new bonds that is issued in February 2023 and maturing in 2027 and 2028. The new bond 2027 and 2028 has an average coupon of 8.4%. And also, this is complemented by an additional cash payment instrument of 10%. The stream of coupons to be received as part of this proposal would therefore be 21% compared to the current 18.5% of the outstanding old bonds. In 2023 and 2024, both instruments will pay an amount of 5% coupon in cash, and the remainder will be capitalized into the nominal account of the two bonds. Now, a very interesting part of this particular statement or letter to the holders or the trustees is that it indicates in the very initial part that this offer that was being made was consistent with the agreement that was reached, an MOU that was signed between government and the pension bondholders. If you recall, at the time that government announced the exemption of pension funds, it did indicate that it will continue to engage in labor and the managers of the pension funds to reach a mutually beneficial agreement on how or what form of restructuring they could participate in. And so that is what the minister has been saying, that as far as they are concerned, this is consistent with that particular measure that was taken.
With those details from the Ministry of Finance. Away from that, the National Communications Authority says it is working with telcos in the country to crack down on fraudulent linking of unknown telephone numbers to Ghana cards. It follows revelations that multiple phone numbers have been linked to the Ghana cards of subscribers of the various telcos. Many of the subscribers had no idea of the link. In a statement, the NCA said it will work with the telcos to deal with the problem. Listen to Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Telecommunications Chamber, Dr. Ken Ashibe.
And the scenario where somebody uses your Ghana card to do a new registration, which it's almost the first phase and the second phase put together, really would be difficult to buy. It's something we're going to look into. The challenges has been those who have used people's Ghana card to do the phase one and have not been able to do the phase two, so have been barred. And those numbers still being linked to your Ghana card. That the linking is going to be done, and then also a short code is going to be provided where you can find out how many numbers are linked to your Ghana card, and then you can then take steps to make sure that those numbers that are not would be deleted.
What happens in the meantime, though, while this work is going on?
Well, the thing about it is that what do you do as a customer? Definitely, beyond just the number that has been linked to a Ghana card, there are other data that can be used to verify whether it's you and all of that. So that detail would have to be done. It's something that we need to deal with in the first place. But if that should arise, that those would have to be done. And for us as well, as I say, working together with the regulator, processes are going ahead to find ways in which we can clean, the SIM registry so that if it says it's you, it is really you. And it's something that really we need to ensure that it's completely done.
What other ways can you verify these, someone's identity in the interim? If someone has registered a SIM card to my Ghana card.
So you see, that the call records, that digital footprints, that you leave every time that you use your phone, and the various cell sites that you be hitting that would be able to tell your location and all of that. So there's a lot of data behind, the calls we do, what we do, the movements we do, whichever who we are calling, whatever cell sites we are hitting, even where we did the registration and all of that.
We can now go back to Tamale and speak about the Ghana Education Services investigation of a viral video on social media which shows some students of the Ghana Senior High School in Tamale using toilet cubicles as dormitories. My colleague Martina Buguri is in the school right now. She will be bringing us updates. Martina, what's the situation in the school as we speak?
I must say that we've been going through the school, and then we first went to the dormitory where we are told that it's converted to a toilet facility converted into a dormitory. And what we are being told is that it's a locker room because the toilet facility has never been in use. It's turned to a locker room where students put their stuff when they are going home. And so what the video we are seeing, according to the school authorities, is not true. Now, they sent us to 2 different blocks, which are currently empty. Nobody is occupying those blocks. And we are being told that if there was any accommodation problem in the school, these are empty blocks that they could have used for the students to sleep in and not allow them to sleep in the toilet facility as we are being told. And so for them, what is being turned out, it's not true. The old students this morning are also here. The Old Students Association are also here. They have also been touring the facilities to understand what is going on. And they have also come out again to say that the report carried is not true. This morning, the Deputy Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Stephen Kweku Owusu, is on a fact-finding mission here with a team to ascertain the veracity of what is being thrown out there and then a decision being taken. He says he will not speak to the media until they report to the Director General, and then officially they would make a statement.
How are the students themselves reacting to the directive from the Ministry of Education?
Some of the students said that they didn't know that that was what was being told. For them, it's a place they hide to read because of the noise in the area. And so sometimes they sneak in there to read. And so they really do not see this as an issue that should be told the way it's being told. Now, they are worried that this has resulted in the interdiction of their headmaster and the senior housemaster.
Martina Buguri is a woman following this for us in Tamale. Definitely will bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. But the Ghana Education Service has assured the populace that it will ensure students entrusted in their care have a safe school environment. Spokesperson for the Education Ministry, Kwesi Kwarteng, has also been reacting to the situation.
As a Ministry of Education, found it very surprising and disturbing that we could see footage where students were sleeping in unauthorized places. Of course, initially, the information we take from the leadership of the school was that it was, a facility being constructed by the school, and initially they had planned to put WCs in. But of course, if you look at the large numbers within our secondary schools, most times WCs or the water closets are not really advisable on health reasons or on health grounds. So a lot of times they may defer to other ways of improving sanitation. So this was a place that was more or less not used, and it was not authorized for students to place it, to be sleeping there. Unfortunately, we found a situation that circulated around, and then the Ghana Education Service felt like they needed to investigate this, get to the bottom of it. But of course, it was only fair that in the interest of natural justice and not to also disturb the investigation process or distort it at the end of the day. The headmaster and the senior house master actually step aside because, ultimately when it comes to the management and administration of the school, it is within the prerogative of the headmaster. But of course, largely when it comes to matters of students' accommodation and other things, it is also within the prerogative of the senior house master. So the Ghana Education Service Fund, like days ago, in order not to distort, how do you call it, or prejudice the investigation that's supposed to go on, they must step aside. So I am very hopeful that at the end of the investigation, we should be able to get to the end of it. But for so far as the Ministry of Education is concerned, the place remains unauthorized.
Right.
Students were not supposed to sleep there. There were more than enough spaces within that particular school to accommodate more students. And we are very surprised that it came up. I mean, sometimes it may be largely, on face value analysis due on a lack of supervision, proper control mechanisms to check all these things within the schools. And this possibly just like when you have 4-bedroom apartments and there is a storeroom which is not used, and then you have your daughter saying that, oh, I'm going to sleep there for fresh air. Yes, as a parent, during the evening, you have to be concerned where your daughter slept. As to even whether she slept in the bedroom or that place or other place, you should be concerned.
Right.
When you have situations like this, we needed to take an action.
Well, Deputy Ranking Member of the Education Committee of Parliament, Dr. Clement Apak, has been appalled by the development. He's been expressing his frustrations on the AM show.
Master of Ghana School appeared before the Public Accounts Committee on Friday, and after responding to queries based on the content of the Auditor General's report, I then sought permission from the chair of my committee, the Honorable James Kuchi Abdiji, to ask the headmaster questions around the video and its content, and I was granted permission to do that. In my questioning of the headmaster, his rendition of the story was that, yes, I wanted to find out, first of all, whether the videos were authentic and whether this was indeed Ghana School, to which he confirmed that, yes, this was Ghana School. So I then asked him whether he, as a headmaster, management of the school, had converted a facility that should be serving as a toilet facility as a dormitory to accommodate students, to which he said no. He hadn't done that, but that their school had sufficient space, and therefore there wouldn't have been the need to convert a facility that is not suitable or was not designed for to accommodate students as accommodation for students. Then I asked him, then why would students move to go and live in a space like that? Because that is what is shocking to me and shocking to many who have seen the video.
Right.
Then he responded by saying that he wasn't aware that students had moved into that facility, and that facility is an old facility which was no longer in use.
Okay.
And those cubicles indeed existed, but he wasn't aware that students had moved to live in that facility, and it must have happened on his blind side.
On JoyNews desk, we take a break and give way to business.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to business. My name is Daryl Kwao. KGL Foundation, a corporate social responsibility arm of the KGL Group, says it will continue to implement its philanthropic works to support social development in Ghana. According to Chief Executive Officer Elliot Dade, the foundation is poised to improve the lives of the vulnerable in the country. Speaking at the KGL Foundation and fundraiser event, he said KGL will leverage various opportunities presented to support other projects.
As the corporate social responsibility wing of the KGL Group, the KGL Foundation continues to implement the philanthropic works of the group and has made significant contributions in the social development space, supporting more than 100 projects across the country. Chief Executive Officer for the KGL Foundation, Elliot Dade, said the foundation will explore various funding options to improve the lives of vulnerable and disadvantaged Ghanaians in undeserved, marginalized society.
As the foundation has progressed, you have seen us tackle issues of gender equality, accessible education, youth empowerment, among many others. But one issue that remains often overlooked, one that is very dear to me, is the subject of mental health in this country. Currently, an estimated 10% of Ghanaians have common mental health conditions, yet only 2% of such persons will seek treatment. In fact, it is only until very recently attempted suicide was treated as a criminal offense in this country instead of a health condition in need of treatment. We are currently living in a global mental health crisis, and all around the world, experts are looking to how we can best address the issue. The African continent is often neglected in these conversations. For too long, the subject of mental health has been viewed as taboo. Those who suffer from its conditions are pushed to the fringes of society, written off as cursed or lost causes due to the lack of understanding within the community. The mental health crisis needs to be viewed as just that, a health crisis. And if we continue to leave it untreated, it will slowly kill our population.
Guest of honor for the event, Excellency Rebecca Kufuor called for more private sector support.
Such organizations constitute one of many arteries that supply sustenance to the well-being of Ghana, and they need everyone's support. I see eminent personalities, representatives of private sector institutions, and members of the diplomatic community gathered here tonight. It is my fervent hope that you will all commit funds to facilitate the expansion of the work of the KGL Foundation across the country. Nana Chairman, in conclusion, I use this special occasion to appeal to other private sector organizations to support our communities. I believe that collectively we can bring hope to Ghanaians if we promote, expand, and support philanthropy in Ghana.
The KGL Foundation works in the areas of health, education, sports, arts and culture, youth empowerment, and entrepreneurship.
All right, Volta Ghana Limited, a subsidiary of Coca-Cola Beverages Africa, has introduced a new premium bottled water onto the Ghanaian market. Now, according to National Key Accounts and Commercialization Manager Kofi Poli, Volta Ghana aims at driving business growth in Ghana. Speaking to Joy Business, he said the company is committed to protecting the environment and reducing Ghana's carbon footprints. Here's more in this report.
The new plastic bottled water idea seeks to support Ghana's efforts and desire for an eco-friendly environment as the company advocates for protection of the environment through proper disposal of plastic waste and recycling. This inspired the company to shift from the non-glass bottled premium water to a plastic premium bottled water, which can be recycled while refreshing consumers with high-quality standard drinking water. According to Kofi Poli, the company is committed to protecting the environment by building more sustainable communities and cities.
Vortic has been around for the last 25 years. We're launching this new product because as a business we're evolving. We are not static, we are dynamic, and we're launching this new 750 and a new labeling and packaging to delight our customers and to ensure that we provide arm's refreshment to our customers. So it's a natural mineral water that goes through filtration, and then our experts ensure that we go through the right packaging and everything. And once they do the packaging and the filtration, we ensure that all the minerals are maintained. So it's safe and it contains the right pH.
Coca-Cola franchise director for Equatorial Africa region, Seshini Naidu, said the new brand identity for Vortic emphasizes their commitment to refresh consumers while encouraging them to embrace their own unique richness.
Well, our aim is to set our premium source water brand as the undisputed market leader, a beacon of sophistication, quality, and good taste so that we remain the top of mind with our consumers. The purpose of the Coca-Cola company is to refresh the world and make a difference. As the Coca-Cola system, we have been driving certain initiatives around providing water to the underserved communities, which has benefited tens of thousands of consumers in the last few years.
At the event, Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Amidu Isaku, lauded Vortic Ghana for supporting the country's effort to providing safe drinking water and the protection of underground and freshwater resources for more than 2 decades.
Vortic Ghana Limited is proud to be associated
with Ghana and its rich and diverse culture. 25 years on, the company is re-emphasizing the true Ghanaian heritage through its new premium brand campaign. The new brand image and packaging is an important initiative of the Coca-Cola Company and its bottling partner, Baltic Ghana Limited, aimed at driving business growth in Ghana. Additionally, the Coca-Cola system plans to continue with its social responsibility by supporting marginalized communities with water replenishment programs such as installation and mechanized boreholes in communities where they are mostly required.
The 750 milliliter bottled water has a royal blue label with a new golden Baltic logo boldly embossed on it, a design that celebrates Ghanaian culture and emphasizes the commitment to quality and the standards of Baltic water. The water contains natural minerals like calcium, magnesium, bicarbonate, nitrates, sulfate, potassium, and iron.
And that's it for Business. News Desk returns after this break.
Welcome back to JoyNews Desk. To the rest of our stories, the process of swearing in an oath to tell the truth in court is required. However, the belief that the truth will give you victory has been debunked by lawyers. They say speaking the truth alone doesn't guarantee victory in a case, but the ability to prove with undeniable evidence and facts is what may tip you for a win in court. Speaking on the law Sunday, lawyers Musa Ahmed and Daniel Korang explained cases must be backed with well-meaning facts and a well-trained lawyer to assist. They were speaking on a case which is decided at the court. Here are excerpts.
When you go to court with your case, there are three fundamental things that you need to concern yourself with. And these are, number one, the facts of the case. Facts of the case. Number two, your evidence. And number three, the law that is applicable to your case. So a party doesn't just go to court to tell the court that this is the truth. We have to understand that there is nothing like truth before a case is gone into. When a judge sits to determine a case, the judge does not know the truth before the judge will go into the matter. And the truth that we concern ourselves with in court is a conclusion that we draw from your facts and your evidence. So when you have your facts and your evidence and we marry them together, we decide whether they are credible conclusions that we can draw. And so when we say truth in court, we mean the establishment of credible, believable facts.
Some selected judges and members of civil society organizations have validated a Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative right to information training manual for judges in Ghana. The CHRI says the efforts leading up to the passage of the Right to Information Law were marked by robust civil society advocacy, including engagement and lobbying of the legislature and the executive. Programs manager of the CHRI, Esther Poku Eduhene, says the training manual will help appraise judges of both local and international dynamics of the law.
The Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative, in partnership with the Coalition on the Right to Information and then the Judicial Training Institute, saw it's necessary to come up with a guide, something like a guide to be used to support the training of judges on the interpretation of the access to information law. Because of course when somebody is denied access and the person goes to court, the person is expecting that the person's rights will be adhered to or will be promoted. So what we are seeking to do is that, of course, we all know that the right to information is a constitutional right. It's already with or without a right to information law, it is a right. But this is also a part of a process to support the implementation, to support, because we know that those who are supposed to make decisions when it comes to when somebody applies the law, also need some technical support to be able to make the right kind of decisions. There are international standards, there are international best practices. So we thought to put all this information together. And Ghana is not the only country that has taken this path. There are so many countries that have gone ahead of us when it comes to right to information. So we thought it wise that we will gather evidence from other jurisdictions when it comes to court decisions on RTI. What does it take? What does it mean? What are they saying on other jurisdictions? Just to guide us, so that it means that for us we are even we are in the safe hands, because we have the room to learn from other countries, the best practices. We have the room to adopt those that are good, and then also manage some the bad decisions that come up. So this is basically one of the process to support the successful implementation of Ghana's right to information law.
And that's our in the news this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of the developing stories. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. See you again at 12.